Hi, welcome back. So as part of this DevOps tools training, we are started seeing various hands-on integrations lab. So as part of this class, we are going to discuss about how to configure Git repository in local and how to manage the shared basis. Okay, because most of the projects now they are really not interested to go with public repositories, right? So if you want to configure your own local repository and share it with across your developer team, then you need to have some basic idea. And also, we are going to see how things are working. I'm a developer. If I change the code, how Jenkins is going to detect, right? Already we have seen through GUI. As part of this class, we are also going to see through command line. As I stated a couple of times, we have our GitHub ID Cloud and Lord. For this DevOps tools training, DevOps underscore tools underscore training. And for this class, stick to folder class 15. And there is a file git local west remote.txt. Let's go inside. Before starting this hands-on lab, you need a following prerequisites. You need a two Linux machine. One Linux machine is going to be CentOS 7. You name it as server 1. And you need another Linux machine. You name it as client 1, right? Both, if you can make it one CPU, 512 MB RAM and CentOS 7, that is more than enough, right? Since I'm using Google Cloud, then I need to first enable the SSH part. See, if you go to VM, so as I said, I have server 1 Linux machine, client 1 Linux machine, which we are going to see a local JIT with remote JIT, right? And also I have configured Jenkins server, which we will see it later in the class. Let's go inside. All servers are bare metal servers. So I'm going to first enable the SSH part, going to be the server 1. Let's increase the font size. Let's increase the font size, sudo su. And as I said, we etc sshd underscore config and come down. There is a password underscore authentication. You have to make it commented out no, and password authentication yes. Save it, write and quit. Either you can go with the systemctl, restart sshd, and I'm going back to the server 1 also. Here also I'm going to enable the sshd underscore config. Come down, password underscore authentication. Password underscore authentication should be yes. So I'm going here. I'm commenting it out, and password authentication yes. Say write and quit. Okay, so either you can go with the old command sshd restart. Okay, so now we will proceed with our steps. So this is exactly we have did it now. So Linux machine 1, server 1, Linux machine 2, client 1. So in server 1, basically this server, we are going to configure a Git repo, right? So Git repo. Okay. So I have 3 developers. Okay. Developer 1 and developer 2 and developer 3, right? So all these 3 people are working in different shifts or different location, different time zones. So he is using and he is changing something, he is pushing it. And when he comes, he has to do Git pull first before he start the work, Git pull, because then only this repository is controlled and managed by many people, right? Used by many people. So in that case, whenever you start, you think you are going to start the work, first you need to make sure the parent repository, that is a master repository in, and your local copy should be intact. So you need to say git pull always before you start change anything, because the local version and server version should be same before you start anything, so that you can avoid a lot of collisions. So he is doing some changes, pushing it, and immediately he is doing some changes, and at the end of the day, whatever he is doing the changes, he has to see. Whatever he is doing changes, he has to see. This is what exactly we are going to see it now. And apart from this, what we are going to do is there is a Jenkins, right? So in github.com, right, there is a small application. So what we can do is the developer one going to download this clone and change some file configuration and push it back. So Jenkins is detected some changes, immediately start this. Remember, developer one is sitting in his machine only, right? So the GitHub is somewhere, the Jenkins CA server is somewhere, right? So this is how the production works. The developer always sitting in his machine only, and he is keep on doing the changes based on the bug or based on the ticket or based on the task with according to the particular repository. So let's go one by one. So in server one, I am installing Zit. In server one, I'm installing the Zit first. So once installed, I'm going to create some directory, user opt-git1, the directory and username, it's up to you. You can change whatever you want, but I'm just giving you an idea to understand how this works. So I'm going to create a directory. Yes, we can create it, and we are going to set up the permission, but in production, always go with the proper permission. This is for learning, so I'm just going with the full permission. But normally you go with according to the project deliverable and the user roles. So go here. I have given the permission, and also first inside this, I'm initializing the repository git init bare metal empty, right? So the empty repository now created, and go for again one more time. I'm going to revisit the permissions. This is always advisable. And I'm creating a user called developer one. So I'm creating developer one, and I'm setting up a password. I'm going for a password. So make it very simple password, CNL12345, or very easy password which you remember. I remember always CNL12345. So I'm setting this password. Go for here, and I'm logging as a user as a home directory. So I'm just logging as a developer one. So if I say, so I'm into my home directory, and also I'm into developer one. So now I am going to clone it. Remember, this is in the GitHub server, right? So I'm going to clone it. I'm into different user, right? So I'm going to clone it. So it's cloned. See here, there is a clone repository. What you'll do normally in github.com, right? So go inside, make sure it is a GitHub. Yes, there is a .git. So it's correct only. So now I'm going to create a one sample text file, touch flux.txt, right? So put a, always keep put git status. Sorry, there is a typo, status. So which means there is a file, but it's not tracked, right? So go for add. Either you can say star, or you can give, either give a star means everything, or flux.txt. Enter. Again put a git status. So now it's tracked. Only thing is you need to commit, right? Configure who is the changer. So you go for here. I am the person, developer, who changed this. So I am giving the name as well as the mail ID. This is very important, because if we are managing the centralized repository which used by across many people, then each and every commit should have this information. Otherwise, we will lose the track. This is This is mandatory to adhere everywhere. So git status, yes, changes to be committed. So we will commit it. So you give some meaningful description, right? I am giving you fail multiple times because there is some changes related to this, right? And then go for it. So when you say log each changes, it should be meaningful description, right? So now we have committed. Now we will push it. Let's see whether we are getting the error or not. So I'm just pushing it. So of course, we need to define what kind of a method you are pushing, right? So I am setting the default simple. You no need to memorize anything. In this error itself, you are getting this output. All you need to do is just understand and paste it. Copy paste. So now you do a git push again. So it happened now. So now all your changes is updated into the centralized GitHub repository. Now we will go to another machine which we created, client 1. So we are in client 1 now. So we will do the same part, yum install git. Okay. So, and then we will create a user called developer2, and then we will set up the password for the newly created user called developer2, right? Once the developer2 password is set, automatically what will happen? So you go with a very simple password, CNL12345 and CNL12345. Automatically, the password also has been now set. So log in as a newly created user called developer2. I'm going to log in as a developer2. Yes, I logged in. Now you need to clone it. How you clone normally github.com, right? So clone it. So I'm just going to clone. Remember, this is the, you need to give some username who is authorized. Normally this user can be some functional user ID, right? In real-time projects, right? So this will be the common user as per the role you applied, which normally everybody will use this to manage. And then where this GitHub server we nominated, server 1, because this is where the bare metal repository we initialized, and then we have started pushing all updates across from everywhere, right? And where is this repository located, right? So you need to give all this information and say enter first time. So you give what is the password, CNL12345. So everything is fine. So now you do a ls. So it got downloaded. CD safe box, go there, ls. See, there is a flux.txt. Remember, I am into machine 2, that is a client machine. I am into server, right? So I have initialized the repository using developer 1 user ID. I created some file and pushed it. So all push has been successful. Now from other machine, developer 2, this developer 2 is coming in night shift, right? So he want to see some update, right? But his machine is different, right? So let's see how this works. So the developer 1 wants to, where I am in my GitHub directory, right? So now I am going to say touch wanna more. So I'm just creating one more file. Technically, there is some changes, right? Now git status. So it's not tracked. So let us add it to the repository first. Before adding to the repository, git add wanna more, or you do a star. Better you go with the individual one till you get some comfort level. So enter. Now you do a git status, right? So now everything is fine. Only thing is you need to commit it. What changes you are doing? Git commit, right? -m. I am saying, so you can give the changes. What changes you will do it? Say, for example, I am trying more, right? So you given some description what you are exactly changing, right? Say git push, enter. So there is a push. Now remember, developer 2, he is in different machine. He is coming in night shift. Okay, server, there is a developer 1 login. He did some changes and pushed it, and he left from the office, right? What we are going to do is, before developer 2 start his work, remember there is only one file, git pull, right? Local copy. So you can give the functional user ID password CNL1235. Now there is something updated. So ls, say enter. See here, there is a different machine, right? But he is into different machine. So the local copy and server copy, now everything is same. Now he is doing some more. Touch, say major winning, right? .txt, enter. Now he is saying git status, right? Git, and you can say add, right? You can type the file name or put a star. So automatically it will gather all the new files. So now you do a git status, right? So everything is fine. Now only thing is you need to commit it. So what we need to commit? Git commit -yum. Okay. Now you need to do don't sleep, okay, till you finish your learning. Okay, but I'm just giving some description, but it has to be meaningful. Basically, this description should be what you are changing, right? So I'm just say enter. So automatically, this is the first time, right? So you need to define who I am. I am a developer 2, right? So go here and the same agenda. Instead of developer 1, I am a developer 2, right? So you mention it. The reason is, when you go for git log, you have to identify who did what changes, right? Sorry, there is a, and then you need to go for email also. What is the email ID? So developer2@cloudandloud.com, right? So you can just reveal the person who is doing all these changes. Now you do a git push. Do you think it will work out? Again, you need to define the method. So again, you can say CNL12345. You can define. Now you do git push CNL12345. Okay, so now you go back here, ls, okay, git pull ls. Okay, now one more time, git status. So again, we need to mention there is a commit command after declared the push method. Again, I'm running the same command. Again, we no need to type it. Commit. So enter. Now you do a git push CNL12345. Okay, now I'm going back to the mission 1 as a developer. So developer 2 is left for the day. So developer 1 is coming to the shift and say git pull. So here ls, there is a file. So this is how you need to understand how things are working, right? So even you can create the developer 3 also, you can do the same exercise. But the logic is the same. As long as your GitHub repository, this master repository, right, is going to be a shared mode from any machine, right? You can check in and commit, right, to the master repository. You remember, if your project doesn't want to go for the public github.com or anything, you can set up your own repository, right? So now, apart from this, since we are talking about the local versus remote, right? Say, for example, we have a Jenkins, which we are discussing most of our classes in previous sessions, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create one new pipeline. Okay, say, for example, auto trigger build, something like this. So say Maven project. Okay. And what is your test application? This is your test application, which we use most of the time, right? Go here, come down, click JIT, say here, and I am enabling Paul SCM. As I said, star space, star space, star space, star space, star. If you are keep getting confused, what is mean by this star, what is mean by this star, and what is mean by this star, that means you simply click. It's a cron job. So first star is going to be what minute you want to trigger this. First hour, the which hour, and date of the month, the day of the month, and the month, which month you want to trigger this, and the day of the week. If you want, you can have a multiple examples also, right? But as part of our learning, we need just to understand how this logic works. So I'm going with every field as a star. Star means everything, every minute, right? Come down. So let us just disable the help, come down. So pom.xml, everything. So I'm not going to deploy it to the Tomcat. If you want, you can create another machine, configure Tomcat, Artifactory. You can practice it as per the previous classes. So save. Remember, we are not going to touch Jenkins, right? Jenkins, right? So there is a code. This is a Maven underscore demo, SCM, right? This also located in somewhere. This also located in somewhere, but this CA server automatically keep monitoring because we enabled the Paul SCM. Now, our developer is sitting in this Linux machine somewhere in Chennai or Bangalore. So I am a developer. I am sitting in my machine. What I'm going to do is I am going to say git clone. What is the repository? This is the repository, right? So let us go with this. Go here, go here. Let us come out of the other repositories. Let's make sure we are not into anything. So git clone, right? And say here. So we cloned it. Say here, Maven underscore demo. So we will go inside, okay, and check it. Okay. Now we will also open this. Okay. We will also open this and make sure there is a file. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 file. So I am going to create another file. Say, for example, touch vana.txt. Technically, there is a configuration change, right? So click it, say git status, right? It has to be tracked. So say git add vana.txt, git say commit -m. So new bug fixed, something like this, right? So say git push. So it will ask your GitHub repository name, since you are going to be the owner. But as I said, in projects, normally your ID also will be given as a permission. So you can use your user ID since the repository given the necessary permission, right? So you can use the same. We are giving the password of my repository. See here. So there is something pushed, the change pushed. So say reload. Yes. So vana.txt. Immediately wait for some time. See here, we never touched the Jenkins part. we never touched, right? We never touched the build now part. What we did is we just changed some file. I'm a developer. I am sitting in Chennai or Bangalore, right? So I just pushed my changes into SCM. SCM is something my github.com, which is monitored by my CI server. Okay, so CI server, I enabled Paul SCM, right? So automatically what happened, the moment I posted it, automatically the CI server directed the changes and started compile, started build, and I created war file. Let us check the log file. Automatically, again, there is a, so let's go here, come down. So there is a war file created. Let's check. Okay, so there is no error. So that, which means everything is fine. So this is how you need to understand the centralized repository and the shared repository. If you can do this, so that you can very well handle all GitHub related or Bitbucket related or VSTS related. First, go with the manual car, as I said. So this is the manual car. Whatever the procedure, this is the manual car. Based on this, you understand the logic means automatically you can extend it to any SCM tool. Stay tuned. We'll come up with more hands-on. Thanks for everyone.